everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. Oh my goodness. January 2024. How exciting is it to be in a brand new year? That short little video was from GMCVB, the Greater Miami Visitors Convention and Visitors Bureau here in South Florida. And I just want to let you know that you can become a Miami Art Globetrotter. Find artwork inspired by Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and around the world at Art of Black Miami. If you want to know more, go to artofblackmiami.com. Yes. So yesterday I was grilling and I'm like, it's cool to be in South Florida grilling on January 1st outside, and it's not cold and snowy. It's beautiful. So come visit Miami. Anyway, I am here to talk about something completely different because it's January and a lot of people make New Year's resolutions. They want to, set themselves up for success at the beginning of the year. And that's what I want to do to help you do that with this Vision 2024 that we have coming up. But before then, I just want to say welcome to those of you who are watching on YouTube, watching on LinkedIn, and watching on Facebook. I'm so glad that you've joined me today on this first show in January that we're doing. So thank you for jumping on board. I would love for you to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@AliciaCoury. So go check that out. We have a goal to bring amazing content to more and more people this year than ever before. So I would appreciate you subscribing to our channel and sharing it. If this topic or what we're sharing resonates with you, share it with someone else. So what is our topic? It is Vision 2024. Like I said, it's a new year and we all make these grandiose plans at the beginning of the year of what we want our year to look like. And sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes there are ups and downs and there are left and right turns during the course of the year. But how do you create a vision for yourself that sustains, a vision that becomes the North Star for the rest of the year for you? Regardless of what else happens, you can maintain that vision and a direction. And one way to do that is make sure that the vision that you have aligns with your natural, innate talents and strengths. Those strengths that are so instinctive to you that you don't have to think about them. You're just doing it. And if you understand how you do instinctively, like what are those subconscious commitments that you have, and you align your goal and your vision and your mission and your purpose to that, those subconscious commitments, then you can't help but be successful in it. You can't help but win. And that's what this Vision 2024 workshop is all about. It's about aligning your innate subconscious commitments, those strengths that you have, the ones that you were wired with from birth, to your vision, so that with success, with ease, and with speed, you can have the success that you're looking to achieve this year. So how many people, they say, oh, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to get in shape. And that's why Planet Fitness was sponsoring all the New Year's Eve events on television, Planet Fitness, and they're advertising January. Their budget probably for advertising at the beginning of the year is the highest for the entire year because they know everybody's going to make those commitments. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start a health plan. I'm going to get healthy this year. I'm going to get in shape this year. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever it is. Planet Fitness knows. And they know by the end of January, probably 50% of those people aren't going to be coming anymore. So they have things in place to help them keep renewing, but they know January is it. So because of that, I also wanted to do something now in January, and we're going to do it on the 5th, to help you understand, first discover those strengths, and then understand what those strengths are, and then look at what your vision is and align them to those strengths, align your plan to those strengths, so that you can find yourself just accomplishing. It's like, oh my gosh, what happened? This isn't hard at all. It's just happening. It's just happening. Now, during our workshop, we want to do three things. So three major things we want to make sure that you leave with. And one of them is to reshape your thinking of how you need to do something to get success. To reshape that thinking, we want you to connect to your definiteness of purpose. That's from Think and Grow Rich, if those words sound familiar. Definiteness of purpose. And of course, we want to create a plan that's consistent, that you can use consistently. So first of all, one of the things that you would need to look at when creating any plan for success for yourself is, how is this going to impact my entire life? Like, we want to look at the wheel of life. We want to look at all these different areas and elements that really impact you, and develop a plan for each of these areas. If you haven't done that yet, I would highly suggest that you do that. Whether you come to the workshop or not, I would highly suggest that you look at all the different areas of your life that that are impacted daily, and create a plan. Like, do you want to develop spiritually as well as personally, as well as in your career, and as well as in your family? Are those areas that you really want to focus on developing this year? Maybe you want to focus on your health and wellness. Like, that's a component that you're really, really interested in developing. So create one goal. This is what I'm going to tell you to do. Create one goal for each of these areas in your life that you can achieve. And it doesn't have to take the whole 12 months for you to get there. Like, you can say, you know what, this year I want to really create a plan for my family. Well, what does that mean? Maybe you just need to sit down with a planner and do everybody, create a will, so that you have a plan for your family this year in case something happens for you. And if you've never done that before, maybe this is the time that you sit down and do it. That could take just the month of January, and check, you've done that this year. So don't make plans that are like every single plan has to be the full 12 months of the year. There are things that you can do that you can literally do over a weekend and hit that goal. So as you're looking at what your vision for 2024 is, look at all these different areas and create a plan for yourself that really impacts those areas of your life, so that you can feel like, oh my goodness, I'm accomplishing these things. And it encourages you. That builds confidence, and it encourages you as you're building your plan for success. So spiritual, health and wellness, relationships, career and business, finances, family, your social or philanthropic endeavors, and your personal growth. Where would you like to focus your vision for 2024? And like I said, each one of these you should have a goal for, at least one goal, but there may be one or two things, maybe three or four, that you really want to amplify in this coming year. Now, that's just one little snippet. We are going to talk about that during the workshop, but I wanted to give you that because I think everybody should have some kind of vision or idea for how they are operating in those different areas of their lives. My mentor and coach, David Nagel, talks about sight. And he says that, because this whole thing came about, the Vision 2024 came about when I was listening to his podcast. And he said, we don't see, like, we experience things through our senses, but we don't see with our eyes. We see through our eyes with cells of recognition from our brain that's been programmed into our brain. So, and we're talking about the law of vibration. He was talking about the law of vibration, and everything vibrates, but we recognize it with what's programmed in our brain. When we were children and our mom, showed us something and it said pencil, pencil, and they kept putting it in front of us and saying pencil. So now when we look at something like this, we know it's a pencil because we see it through the cells of recognition in our brain, seeing this through our eyes and recognize it as a pencil. Now, if someone came up and said, no, that's not a pencil, that's a ball, we'd be like, that's not a ball, this is a pencil. So there are things that have been programmed into our mind that we see and we're like, that's exactly what it is based on that programming. And it's not right or wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. Please don't misunderstand me. That's not wrong. That's just how we were taught. And there are things around us all the time that those cells of recognition don't pick up on because they have not been programmed into our minds. They haven't been programmed into our brains. So we can't actually see certain opportunities for ourselves. We can't actually see certain things that we can take advantage of for our success because we have not been exposed to them. And one of those things is your cognitive mind. You may have heard that before. If you heard me before I talk about the cognitive mind. If you've never heard about the cognitive mind, it is the third part of the mind that is not as well known as the cognitive and the affective. So a lot of people know about the cognitive mind. That's your thinking mind. That's where your IQ, your skills, your knowledge, your reasoning, that's where all of that comes from. But there's another part in that frontal cortex that is cognitive, and that's how you take action, how you do. And that's kind of how we were wired instinctively for success. Each person is wired just a little differently than the next, and we're wired for success differently that way. So we don't all think alike. We don't all experience things alike. We don't all do things the same way. So sometimes someone might do something and you're thinking, why are they doing it that way? Oh my God, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it doesn't make sense to you because your mind isn't wired that way, but it makes total sense to them because that's how they were wired. And I remember growing up and going to school and being labeled incorrectly, like being labeled with certain things, like that I was a quitter, that I was unfocused, lazy, that I had shiny object syndrome. This was more in my adult years, that I had shiny object syndrome, that I never finish anything. And what that developed inside of me, those labels brought a lot of shame and guilt and worthlessness. I felt like I couldn't do anything right. And like, I tried so hard to do things the way the teachers told me I had to do it and the way my parents said I had to do it. But I kept getting these labels thrown on me because I was not designed that particular way to do things in that systematic order. And because I wouldn't do things in that way, I got these labels. And it was after I took my strengths assessment with Colby, my cognitive strengths assessment, that I realized that wasn't my strength at all. Like what they were labeling as weaknesses, because they were seeing it through the lens of their experiences and through the lens of their programming. It wasn't that I was a quitter or unfocused or careless. It was that I was a visionary and I was unafraid to jump into the unknown. Like when I would do something and just jump in and do it, I was like, no, that's not the right way to do it. You have to get all the information first. You have to get all the details, and then you have to have a plan, and then you have to, vet that plan. And so I kept feeling like, well, something has to be wrong with me because I would jump in. And so I didn't get bogged down with a lot of details. So that was in someone else's mind careless and unfocused. And then if I jumped in and I was doing it, and then I could see that, okay, I'm not getting the results I want. So I'm going to switch what I was doing and do it a little differently. Suddenly I was labeled as a quitter. I wasn't actually quitting. Some things I would just drop completely because I took action so quickly that I could see that, you know what, this isn't it. Let me jump out. Let me take action on something else. So it wasn't that I was quitting. It was that I recognized so quickly that that wasn't it. And I was willing to jump out of it. And because failure wasn't something that I saw, I didn't see it as a failure. I saw it as a learning experience. I saw, okay, that didn't work. What did I learn from that? And even as a child, I would see, okay, that didn't work. How can I do this differently? How can I, but then when the labels started coming on, I felt shame and I felt guilt about that. And so I stopped. I stopped being me. I stopped doing those things that particular way. And I felt uncomfortable. And then things started getting more difficult for me and harder for me. So I realized too that I hyper focused on what mattered. Other things didn't really matter to me. I was on a need to know basis. When I was about to do it, that's when I need the information. I don't need the information a month in advance. So I was good at cramming for exams because when the exam, I wouldn't study like all the other kids. Oh, you need to study because my mind was moving so fast that I would study it and then I would forget. So I would cram and then I would pass the test and then I could forget everything afterwards if I wasn't going to keep using that information. I didn't store stuff like that. So I knew I moved at a faster pace. I knew that I was an idea machine. I had ideas coming to me all the time, but I had to suppress all of it. I had to suppress all of that. So understanding my cognitive strengths allowed me to now connect myself and align myself and the way that I did things to those strengths and no longer feel that shame or that guilt. So when someone comes up to me and says something like that, like, if I miss a detail in something, and I miss details and stuff all the time, and I laugh about it because I know that that's how my brain functions. And if I need to pay closer attention to certain things, I know, okay, next time I need to pay closer attention to that. Like, for instance, renting a car at an airport in a city when that city had 2 airports, and I didn't realize that city had 2 different airports. So I rented a car at one airport, but I landed in a different airport. And I was like, okay, but I have problem solving skills. I know how to solve problems really quickly. So I was able to solve problems, even though I was in a place that I had no idea where I was. I could solve problems because now I understand how my brain works and how quickly I can come up with an idea and I can solve a problem. And I don't have to feel that guilt and that shame and feel overwhelmed or stressed about it. It's like, all right, problem solving mode, and we can switch into that. And that's what I want to share with you during this workshop. When you take this assessment and you understand what your ability for problem solving looks like, how do you problem solve? What is the information that you actually need to get so that when you set your vision, when you set your goals up, you know if you need to have long-term goals or short-term goals. For me, I need sprints. I cannot run a marathon in my goals because I will get bored about it. I will lose focus. I will be headed in another direction very quickly if I don't see results fast. So if I have a result that's going to take me 12 months to get there, the way I need to do it is set up little sprints for myself because I can see the vision, but I can't sustain that vision for 12 months to get there unless I have these little wins, like these little quick wins along the way. I have to have all these quick wins, quick sprints. Someone else can set up a plan for an entire year and sit there and do and focus and do the plan and plan it out and hit their goals and have that long range planning and do that. And they can have massive success that way. But it is not beneficial to tell everybody that's how they need to plan things out, because it's not. It's not going to be successful for everyone. So we're going to talk about setting up your vision, setting up your goals so that it aligns with your vision, so it aligns with those things you want to accomplish. I'm trying to find the website. Yes. So if you want to register, it's this Friday from 2 p.m. From 11 a.m. Eastern time to 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 to 2. You can go to vision2024.now.site to register, vision2024.now.site. It closes tomorrow, Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. It closes off on Wednesday because I need to get everybody's assessment out to them and everybody take their assessment before Friday. So if you want to be able to understand your strengths, your cognitive strengths, and how it aligns with your vision and how to create that map for yourself, how to create those goals for yourself so that you're not burning yourself out, you're not exhausting yourself, or you're not frustrating yourself to get to your vision, to get to your goal, then I highly suggest coming to the workshop. I think there's something going weird with my computer because I want to share my screen and it's fighting back. It's fighting me back. Let's see if it'll share. Let's see. So yeah, Vision 2024. So we're going to look at your vision. We're going to tackle your values, your instincts, those cognitive strengths. We're going to look at those strengths, how you innovate, how do you problem solve? What do you do to problem solve? What do you need in order to solve problems? How quickly can you solve a problem? When you land in an airport and you're standing at the counter for the rental car and they tell you that they do not have your reservation, and you're looking at your reservation and they're like, oh, that's in another airport. How do you solve that problem? How do you solve that problem quickly? When you have an hour drive from that airport to where you have to go, how do you quickly solve that problem? So we want to look at how you innovate, and then create that operating plan for yourself. And then how do we nurture that plan to take it all the way to the end? So that's really what we're going to be focusing on during this 3-hour workshop with you. Go to vision2024.now.site. The investment, if you're going to invest in yourself for this year, I highly suggest investing in this. It's only $97. It's only a $97 investment. I mean, it's a dinner for two for a plan and a vision for your success in 2024 and beyond. Because once you learn this stuff, it's like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So just for $97, you can solidify understanding your strengths, solidify what that plan looks like for yourself, and move forward with your vision for 2024. I don't see any comments coming up, so I'm thinking that you guys are good and you're tracking what I'm sharing, you're understanding what I'm saying, and it makes sense. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all. And just a quick note of what we have coming up, because here we have several shows in our podcast. Our podcast we will bring back in Q2. We'll record our episodes in Q1, and then we'll launch the podcast in Q2 of 2024. But we will still have our Unleash Your Audacious Confidence show. So our podcast is Leading with Audacious Confidence. We're going to start having a new episode starting in Q2 of this year. And then we have our web show, which we do live on Mondays on Win Win Women TV. And that is Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. We're live every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific on redcarpetceo.com. You can join us live. You can be in the studio audience, live studio audience. Maybe one of your goals is to be in our live studio audience, one of these shows, and actually join in the Q&A after the show. But because we really, Win-Win Women is a cool platform. We do our show live, and then we take the recording off, and we have an opportunity with the studio audience to do a Q&A. So every Monday we have a show live, so you can be a part of that. You can come join us. Go to redcarpetceo.com. If you want to be a guest, if you want to get on our list, go to redcarpetceo.com. You can be a guest on any of our shows. And guess what? I'm so excited. We are bringing back Love My Body, Love Myself this year. So we will be doing shows on the Love My Body, Love Myself show once again. And if you are a health and wellness professional, or you want to know more, or you have an amazing story of overcoming a challenge with either body image, body positivity as you age, any of those types of topics, reach out to us. You can reach out, you can email us, or go to redcarpetceo.com and fill out our form to connect with us. But you can email support@aliciacrew.com. I'm looking for the email. I don't see it, but you can email us support@aliciacrew.com, or you can just go ahead and connect with me on alicia360.com. If you go there, you can email me directly, alicia360.com. on there, and you can connect to all my social media channels that way too. So you can subscribe to our LinkedIn channel. You can connect with me on Instagram, connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me on YouTube, on Twitter, on X, and on TikTok. So I'm looking forward to making mucho connections this year, many more connections this year. So go connect with me. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and most importantly, go register now for Vision 2024 now.site. And I will see you on Friday for those of you brave enough to join us to understand your cognitive strengths and how you can align them with your goals, your vision, your mission for 2024. Until then, I will see you guys later. Have the best year, the best 2024, and I'll see you next Monday for Unleash Your Audacious Confidence pre-show preview that we do every Monday at 4 p.m. before our show goes live at 5. All right, that's it for me. Have a great year, everybody. Bye.